Let's see. Coming online, everybody. Give us a couple seconds here. Trying to get Darwin to call in. Oh, let's get that camera. Let's pull that down. Let's see. Da 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 da. Let's get of Lucy. Lucy's gone. Goodbye, Lucy. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Get the music down. Close that out. My mic is on. Clocks are ticking. Says we're broadcasting. Says nobody's watching. It's just like any other live stream. Just waiting for Darwin to call in. Darwin will be calling in from Seidr Sooul Sailing. We've had him on before, and we talk about world news and stuff like that. I gotta do an audio check with my stuff. Test, test. That sounds pretty good. Hello, sailor. Can't hear you. Can't hear a lick out of you. Oh, wait a sec. Let's try this. You can hear me. Try again. Try sign language. We need an interpreter for you. Does anybody speak Darwin? Wait, hold on a sec. Don't do it. Don't change anything yet. Oh, it's good times. It shows the microphone is turned off on you, but I can't turn it. It basically says you're muted. Let me try this again. Interview guest is on. Yeah. It might be dead on your end and it's not sending a signal through. You muted the guest. No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, there we go.
I'm okay now. I think I'm on now. The red line went across my face. It went away. Can you hear me?
Yes. Arr.
Yeah.
You're my favorite.
You had me.
You're my favorite pirate, you know.
Good. I'm a good pirate. Good sailor.
I like what you do with your peg leg.
Yeah. Well, it's a peg leg, but it's high quality titanium, you know.
Yeah, and it's hollow, but anyways, gotta have
triggers
somewhere. You gotta be able to smuggle the contraband.
Yeah, it triggers the old fashioned. You know, if I don't go through the things where they scan your junk with death rays, where you put your hands over your head and they look at your dick,
right?
If I just go through the old-fashioned middle, legs triggered every time.
Oh, you're getting kind of glitchy now.
Oh,
now you're.
I should be okay.
There it's.
There
it's coming back.
My signal shows strong. I think my Starlink's working well.
Good. Anyways,
what do you think of that video I sent you? That short little.
That's kind of fun. So Darwin sent me. Well, first of all, welcome back, everybody. This is Darwin from Seidr Sooul Sailing. I'm finally learning how to say that. Let's see. I didn't want that one. Where's your name? There we go. I got a little name card to put underneath your face.
Cool.
So Darwin sent me a video link that was theorizing that maybe Trump is kind of crashing the world economy, and by fault of that, basically going to turn America back into a superpower by having everything else burn to the ground around us and control everything that's of an asset that produces oil and minerals. Is that kind of that's kind of the gist?
No.
Well, everything within his reach.
Everything in the Western Hemisphere.
Right.
Basically, he's peeing on the tree of the Americas in Greenland. He's like, fuck the rest of it.
Right.
let it burn.
Right. And I've noticed that for a long time with Trump because he really, really hates the media because of the way they've treated him, you know? And he really trolls them all the time to do his dirty work, you know, perpetuates rumors and BS and stuff he says off the cuff. And basically, then they blast it around the world and it gets a lot of traction because that's the way he wants them to portray him sometimes as the crazy lunatic dictator. And I think he uses that to his advantage more often than they're willing to admit it. Kind of like with this Iran thing, you know, we're, you know, telling them we're going to blow up power plants and bridges. He never telegraphs what he's going to do. That was all for awe effect, you know, darn well.
That was pretty crazy though.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's what he's got a lot of criticism for is the way he said it. But it's like,
Yeah, I mean, he's the only way it was the only way possible to do what he said he was going to do is nuclear weapons.
right,
You can't kill like 100 million people in 4 hours without using nukes.
right, right,
And you know, my real problem, the where it's like it crosses a line I can't cross. All the people he throws under the bus, all the humans.
right.
Have you ever dated a Persian woman or a Muslim woman, a African
No,
woman?
no,
I
and
have,
go ahead.
and they're wonderful, beautiful humans. Very, very dear to me. Um, and I mean, there's one or two that if I
Did
hadn't
you,
been so screwed up, I might have got sucked into marrying. You know.
sure. Well, I mean, I didn't take his threat serious because that's what he was telling the media. I mean, I didn't think he was going to back down and do something else, but I didn't take it at face value.
Besides that, though, I mean, look what they did in Gaza.
Okay.
I mean, look at all the people they killed in Gaza. Those are people. I,
Right.
in Northeast Minneapolis, there used to be this it was kind of like a grocery store. It was kind of like a convenience store, kind of like a health food store, but it wasn't really. They just served healthy stuff. It was run by this Palestinian family, and
Okay.
they got. I'd buy these like 2 gallon jugs of the best olive oil, cheap, and they got it from they produced it on their olive farm in the West Bank.
Sure.
And then I went in to get some one day and they didn't have any. This is like 2014, maybe
Uh huh.
2013, 2014. They were like really sad. They were really nice people. Um, it's only a kind of store only people that know about it go there because
Right.
they got stuff you can't really good stuff you can't get anywhere else really cheap, or they used to anyway. And they had Israeli settlers that came in and bulldozed down all their olive trees and like burned their houses. It's like, and these are human beings, people I knew.
Right. Right.
It's I've just seen so much of that over the years,
Right.
and it's like I mean, and all politicians are like that. They don't care how many goddamn children of peasant children they have to kill to get what they want. I mean, do you really think, okay, we know that there's just no goddamn way more airplanes have fucking crashed than they've admitted to body count in this war.
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
and what have we heard
we
that's
haven't
true?
we haven't really heard a body count on the Iranian side that we're aware of. At least
No, I mean on the American side, what they say, like 12 Americans have died. Fuck, I mean,
you think it's
that,
much higher than that?
I have no idea what it is, but I'm as sure that they're lying about that as they do lie about everything else.
I don't know. I mean, I
I
just
mean, how about this?
I mean, I don't disagree that they're not honest, but at the same time, with what we've done so far, I don't think we have anything that would make a high body count for the U.S. at this point, unless a lot of
I
shit got
mean,
shot. A lot of shit got shot down that we're not aware of.
yeah, well, a lot of. I mean, look at how many aircraft they lost in that weird fucking rescue operation.
Well, but okay, so there's an example at least. But they admitted to all that. As far as we know, they were upfront about
Well,
that. So,
I mean, clearly what they were doing, they had these nuclear experts on their planes, and they found the fucking paperwork for the or documents for the people on the wreckage of the frickin' plane about this one woman who was she wasn't a combat, she wasn't a special ops, she was like a nuclear physicist. They were going to go to try to take Iran's enriched uranium. So
oh,
it was just a really fucked up. It was a fucked up special op that just I think complete foobar. I think it was probably way more fucked up than when Carter tried to rescue the hostages in 1980. Because I
yeah.
think that's what he was actually trying to do. I think these guys had a special. I think that I mean that colonel that was on the plane, he was probably normally you don't have like a fucking colonel as your goddamn navigator at F-15E. Um, he was they didn't give his name,
Well,
but
yeah, they never did,
he was
did they?
probably he was probably the commander in charge of this special ops thing to go get the uh, So either some of those, they fired a whole bunch of generals right before it happened, like the day before,
Well,
and
didn't you hear the other deep down the rabbit hole thing that the reason why he got rid of Bondi was there was a active coup being assembled that they were going to try to impeach him before going to war with Iran.
yeah, or take them out with the 25th Amendment.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know because
Yeah,
we never really heard what triggered Bondi being
I
released.
mean, I'm okay with putting them all in a cage match and like giving them like machetes and shit, and just let them until there's one person standing, and then we'll celebrate his victory by letting him make the ultimate sacrifice of his life, like in the old the Aztec basketball games.
Right, right.
The winning survivor would be sacrificed on top of a pyramid.
Uh huh.
And although in theory, I don't approve of blood that like
Blood sport.
morally I don't approve of blood sport, but I wouldn't cross the street to protest it if they did that.
Well, there was another story that came out about they released the details of when Netanyahu or was there whatever a week before the invasion or whatever and all his intelligence that he brought with. And supposedly Trump sent it all to the CIA and say, is any of this real? And they picked apart 90% of it. And it was basically to say that Trump was well aware of a lot of things, and his main intention for doing any of this was hopefully to take away the nuclear capabilities of Iran was pretty much his only goal, and not all the other crap. Why?
That was maybe a side goal, but I think that video I sent you that makes more sense than anything, because okay, what how the only way we can rebuild America, United States, the only way, we have to quit being the world's we have to we can't have the world's reserve currency. We can't have the US dollar hold hegemon in the world economics, because uh, that that just ties us to the debt, and the debt is unsustainable. Do you know that before the war, I think you know what the cost of servicing uh, the debt through, you know, to service the bond market. So what that means, it isn't just that they're gonna, you know, when the bonds come due, they don't just pay them off, because that'd be like, that would bankrupt the
Right.
country. So what they do is give people a better rate to you know, like, I'll pay you even more interest if you hold it for another 2 or 3 years. You know,
Right. Right.
it's called rolling over that. That's the so rolling over the bond market. But just the cost of that alone, in well, not that, everything else, you know, paying the people that let their bonds expire, people that take the bribe to keep holding the debt and just get paid even more interest for 3 more years or whatever, 2 years. Um, it was $9 trillion through December of or December 31st of 2026. But it's that high because of all the short-term bonds that the Biden administration sold to finance the stimulus crap during COVID.
Right.
So that's why it's gotten so bad. It's because, well, I mean, here's the thing: people just aren't. They don't. The more they lose faith in the U.S. Solvency, the U.S. ability to balance its goddamn checkbook, basically, the less they're willing to borrow money for 10 years, and they're more likely to buy bonds for 1 year, or 2 years, or 3 years instead of 10 years.
Sure.
Because it's like, well, in 10 years, are you going to be here? It's like, is your Social Security check going to be cashing in 10 years? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Um, like, are you going to give me a bird in the hand rather than two in the bush?
Right.
Because you get a lot higher interest on a 10-year note, on a 10-year Treasury note. But you better, every year it gets, as the credit ratings go down and down and down, it gets to be sketchier whether you're ever going to see that money in 10 years.
Right.
So with this war, I think it's gone from $9 trillion to rolling over the debt's going to be, I think now, April, the beginning of April, or sometime starting in April, because they don't have the bond markets the auctions all at once. They think they've had, in March, they had like 3 or 4 Treasury auctions, and they didn't go well. And every time they don't go well, the interest rates go up. That's why the fucking Federal Reserve can't. They, you know, the prime rate, that only the only the only interest rate the Federal Reserve controls is the interbank lending rate. So it's it's the interest banks charge when they borrow money to each other. But the bond market determines the basic interest rate. So that's why when all they are is blowing smoke up your ass when they're talking about shit like um, talking about shit like I'm sending Victoria. I just told Victoria I couldn't say goodnight to her. It's 11:20 there, so um, uh, so all that is just, it's like everything else. It's like fucking immigration. You know, Obama deported more people than Trump did.
Right.
I mean, it's just a talking point. It's to get dumb fucks to argue with each other and not pay attention to important shit like the bond market.
There is so much stuff happening at once continuously right now. Yeah, to keep your finger on the pulse of any of it is impossible. Yeah, you really you have
I
to.
really only follow the bond market.
Right.
That's
Right.
really all
Right.
I follow. And commodity prices. But that's kind of a lagging indicator. The real indicator is the bond market, the auctions, the T-bill auctions, which they have about at least 1 or 2 every month, sometimes 3 or 4. And it's going to be it's gone up to $12 trillion. Oh no, by April 1st of 2027, it's going to cost $12 trillion to roll over the bond debt. That's money that's got to be paid. That's not like optional. if that doesn't get paid, the U.S. defaults. I mean, technically, it's not paying it when it rolls it over. It's just borrowing it. It's just
Right.
it's like if your credit card was maxing out and you got them to raise. They said they'd raise your limit, but they had to raise your debt interest rate.
Right.
So say you owed $88,000 and they raised it to $115,000, but your interest rate went up from like 17% to 24%.
Right.
That's how this rolling over. So it's not a permanent solution. So okay,
Well,
what Trump might be doing.
but what
That's what that video was talking about.
Right, but you're looking at it from the obvious standpoint. The greater plan may be just to somehow wipe all that shit out, and then there's no way we ever have to pay it.
Right. But to do that, we can't do that when the U.S. dollar has a hegemon status. When we have the world reserve currency, we can't do that. What he's doing, so this is why I sent you that video. As crazy as it sounds, it all makes sense. He before this war, like last fall, with the Greenland thing, he's serious about Greenland. He wants Greenland. He wants to control Arctic shipping routes because that's how he's turning the Americas into a fortress.
Right.
Like Iran's a fucking fortress.
Right.
But this would be like the world's biggest fortress. It would be impenetrable. But we do need to control the Arctic shipping lanes to make it impenetrable. You
probably didn't see this. And the UK was just flexing on Putin because he had subs in the North Atlantic just recently.
I bet you when Starmer's hurling strongly worded statements his way, I bet you he's shitting himself.
Yeah,
I would love to see. Putin and Starmer in a cage match.
Yeah,
I would pay $500 to be at that fight. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's.
I'm in a different place here. I got to just show you something. You see that?
Yep.
They rent out. They'll be gone pretty soon. They shut down pretty soon. But people come here and rent jet skis, and you get hammerheads that don't even know how to drive a goddamn canoe going out on fucking jet skis.
Right.
Anyway, that this is why this makes sense though, because what he had very few organizations in the world had motivation to cockblock him or the power to do it. One of them was the ECB, European Central Bank.
Right.
And he gutted them.
Yeah, but right. Okay, but what I'm thinking about too is, things he's actually said out loud is he really wants to be out of NATO. This feels like kind of like baiting them to fail to give more ammo to get public support for it. Like, okay, we're just be done with NATO and not have to deal with these guys anymore. And then just leave that hemisphere. Pull out our stuff and just leave.
NATO is like it's like
it's a greedy ex-wife.
It's like a corpse that has just seconds ago had its head smashed in, and all these electrical impulses are flying through its corpse. So it's twitching around, like you come up and sitting at a chair, and you just smash its head in, and all of a sudden to be just twitching wildly like a marionette that somebody didn't know how to operate, right?
Sure.
That's what NATO is right now. NATO is the only reason NATO still functions is because the electrical impulses are still passing through its dying brain.
Right.
NATO's done.
I know, because look at the primary countries involved. None of them are as strong as they were 5 years ago, or maybe a little bit longer. But they're,
There's the.
we're, yeah. I mean, you got France and the UK turning into Muslim nations, and
But they didn't just turn into Muslim nations. That was organized.
oh yeah, just to water them down so they would never be a threat.
You know, Cynthia McKinney. She was like, I think she was a Democrat from like Georgia or someplace. She was like a 1 or 2 term representative, but she's really smart. She's not. She's got like her turds have more higher IQs than Maxine Waters has. Uh, yeah, I would. If you had a debate between Cynthia McKinney's bowel movement and Maxine Waters,
Oh, geez.
the bowel movement would wipe the floor in bed.
Right.
But but anyway, she was when she got to Congress. She's her first day in the office. They brought in representatives from APAC, Mossad, and the IDF, and they sat down with her and told her exactly how she was going to vote on everything. This is in 2002. She was elected.
Mm-hmm.
About how she was going to vote on the Iraq War.
Sure.
Maybe it was 2001 because I think she got elected in 2000. So she took office no, it was it was after 9/11. Well, anyway, she's really smart. I think she's a really smart philosopher. But she comes up, she got so disgusted. She did, I think, 2 terms. And she was like, this is so corrupt and vile. I can't do this anymore. I think she ran as, I don't know, bullshit Green Party president of Canada at once or something.
Sure.
But she'd be actually a much better libertarian. Speaking of, so do you say hi to
yes,
our friend?
Yes, I did. Yes. Yep. We had a good video. That was kind of fun.
He's a cool guy. He's very smart.
Yeah, I'll probably do another. He was open to doing more videos, so I'd probably do another video with him. I was thinking about.
But is he involved with the Libertarian Party, like in an organizational level?
He's not. He's not really calling himself a libertarian currently. He's considering. Well, he's probably considering himself more of an independent, not really saying he's any party. I mean, he still has libertarian tendencies.
That makes sense. So,
I mean,
Cynthia McKinney probably would have made a good
party affiliation at this point is suicide, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. So she came up with this theory, though. I digress. Talking about Tom.
Right.
She really studied this, and she said she recognized that whatever you want to call them, the Illuminati or whatever. She said there's probably more, but she sussed out 2 different factions within the Epstein class, and they were. She called one like the Israel Zionists. She called them the Ziocons, and that would be the George Soros crowd. They were the ones that were paying. I told you that story where a guy's getting paid $50,000 a head and bring in 16 goddamn Brazilian thugs, all the way from fucking Brazil across Central America, across Mexico, all the way to Texas. And who was paying them? It was somebody like George Soros paying them. It sure wasn't their freaking families. So anyway, how many? That was just one busload of people that rescued us from a government shutdown in Guatemala in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
But they and it's the same thing. All these refugees in Paris. I told you about that refugee camp city on the Seine. It was like 2 kilometers of tent city. It was really, really dangerous. It was like this. It was all mostly Syrian.
That was in Paris. Where was that?
Libyan. In Paris. It was not too
Jeez.
far from Notre Dame. It was like it was about, I don't know, we were about 3 kilometers from Notre Dame, and it was between where we were staying. We were at
I
Notre Dame.
You
We
know
were,
what happened before the Iran war? Do you remember Rubio speaking to all the nations of Western Europe and encouraging everybody to be on our side that wants to maintain their Western values, and was kind of this plea to you guys, you should think about your heritage and where you came from, and we're willing to help you go that
yeah.
direction if you want to join us, type thing.
Or
I
the
think that
fact that he works for Israel, and
well,
not the United States.
right, well, okay, but my point is, I think they were trying to make this last ditch effort to get Europe to like, are you guys going to maintain your heritage where you come from, or are you ready to just become Muslim nations? You know,
No, they won't, because you know what? They're both in on it. They, I mean, the Ziocons, and she calls the Trump faction the ones that are trying to preserve structure. Like the Ziocons just want to burn everything down, bring in 10 million freaking gangbangers from Latin America and set them loose in Chicago and shit like that. Um, but the pilgrims, she calls the Trump faction pilgrims, and they're trying to preserve a lot of the existing structure. But both of them. I mean, the death jabs. They both promoted the fucking death jabs. I mean, here's the thing. The Ziocons want to kill us off as fast as possible because they don't need the human slave herd anymore. I don't think they're completely human. Um, and the pilgrims, they're like, they're happy to let us die slowly for the most part. But either one of them will send us to our deaths to fight whatever stupid fucking war they come up with. I mean, they're both they both look at us like sub. You know, they think they're all the fucking chosen people. You know, and we're all like, anybody who's not part of their club, the big fucking club that we're not in, is just goyim. Just use them for blood sacrifices. They don't care. Rape the children in satanic rituals and extract their adrenochrome. And I mean, that they all go to the same goddamn eyes wide shut party at the Rothschild crib, fucking Hamptons.
oh lordy. So where do
Uh,
where
yeah, yeah.
how many more minutes does the United Nations have left?
Oh, I think they're dead. I mean, Trump asking them to come to our aid was almost like a joke. I mean, it was almost like uh,
I think I
when he
think
made
that
that
I
threat.
I think that was baiting. That was just to bring it all to the public so the media would cover it. See, look, all
Yep.
these SOBs aren't going to step up and do a dang thing.
Like all of a sudden, Macron, the fucking the lefty child rapers are suddenly the good guys now, and the right wing child rapers are the bad guys.
Well, and that's
My
what,
satanic pedophile is less evil than your satanic pedophile, and I'll fight you to the death over it.
and that's been Trump's tactic this whole term. Is he always kind of makes this really obvious, at least publicly, always drags out the most obvious line in the sand, and it's like, how crazy do you got to be to stand on this side? You know what I mean? And that's
a bag of raw meat that you throw to a bunch of junkyard dogs so you can break in and go rob the place.
right. I mean, it's for public approval. I get that. It's
not even public approval; it's distraction. You know what?
oh, that's true
So
too.
I haven't voted for a long time because I had a lot of friends who were immigrants in 2016. And they were losing their goddamn mind when Trump got elected. I mean, they were legal immigrants. They were like fucking doctors and lawyers and shit like that. Mostly a lot of bankers, a lot of computer programmers too. But they were freaking out. And I told them, I said, what he says is not what's going to happen. What he says, he's the carnival barker in chief.
What he says is what he wants the media to repeat.
Yeah.
He's been
It's the
playing.
red meat for the
He's
junkyard
been
dogs.
playing the media for a long time now. He does it all the time, and that's why, like I said, with this bomb in the nuclear power plants and bridges crap. So what did Iran do right away? They stacked up civilians around the nuclear power plant. You knew.
Yep.
They all, I mean, Trump's got a hell of an ego. We're not going to deny that, but he did that to get that response. Maybe not that exact response, but get them to respond that way. Yeah, it's just, and the liberal left just went off the rails on all that speak, and it's like,
it was a bag of red meat for that particular pack of junkyard dogs.
Oh yeah, because it got them all focused on. They were trying to get the Democrats to come back from break, come into session, start the impeachment process, and it's like, you crazy MFers, you are just buying into it again. It's like, I mean, there's so much intentional distraction going on, and the media don't give a shit because it gets clicks, but whatever.
Look where I am now.
Yeah, you're not in Norway. You told me you'd be in Norway by the middle of April.
I want to be in Norway. No, I can't go to Norway for reasons that I can't talk about. But
okay.
I have to plan my trip and very careful scheduling. But it's hot here. It's actually getting hot in the tropics. Imagine that. And so I'm going to go put my feet in the water while we talk because it's hot up there.
It's 44 here and overcast. So
this is I'd be swimming right now if we weren't doing this call. So I'm going to put my feet in the water.
Sure.
As my consolation prize.
Like up here when we stick we stick 1 foot out from underneath the blankets to regulate our temperature when we're all covered up.
Yeah.
Remember those
days?
I was here. Have you already forgot that stuff?
No, I was in Norway from April till July last year.
Is that what you're planning on doing? Kind of spending the summer there again, or is that what your intention is, or what was your?
No, I can't. My intention is it's secret.
Okay.
It involves a undisclosed location.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'll tell you about it, but not on the air.
Yeah. We don't have to dig into that. That's fine.
I've got enemies, believe it or not. So anyway, it's good. It's all going interesting. It's so but I am genuinely concerned. That like my personal interest in this whole war thing. It's like most of the jet fuel on planes coming and going from Europe and Asia goes through the Strait of Hormuz. If they don't open that up, if I have to fly there, if I can't sail there, if I have to fly there, because it's about timing.
Sure.
I'm worried that there's not going to be airlines flying. So it's like, yeah, I get what Trump's doing, and actually in a very cold, clinical way, it's the only thing that could really save the United States. Well, because here's the thing. With the current economic system, which is this bizarre debt-based system that Rothschild have been putting together for about 300 goddamn years, I mean, our only product, and we've talked about this, the only thing we produce in the United States, the only thing we really produce is debt. We produce corn for ethanol, and but how do we pay for the corn for ethanol? With more debt. Yeah, I guarantee you that every fucking bushel of corn that's grown for ethanol generates more debt than it does energy for cars.
Sure.
Um, but uh, but there's but he almost has to destroy the whole economic system to create incentive to actually produce things in the United States and make use of the resources.
Right. Right. Well,
It's really the only way, and
well,
that will
look,
require the
look.
U.S. to default on its debt.
I mean, if you look at his time since he's been in the White House this term, it's been a very calculated series of events, daisy chained together. First was Panama Canal. You know what I mean? Venezuela. This is
Mm-hmm.
all very calculated.
Mexico,
This has all been
Greenland, yeah.
planned out for a long time. This is, yeah, it's all just daisy
So
chained together, and that's what,
if I
and I
was,
think this Iran thing is going to help him do the Greenland thing by just abandoning the NATO nations and having in his mind, a just cause for the world to say, look, we're done with you guys. I don't care what you say about Greenland. We're going to do what we want. You know what I mean?
here's what here's what Iran is going to do to help that Fortress America plan. It's going to it's already destroyed the petrodollar. The only oil that's getting out of the oil producing region, out of OPEC right now, the only oil getting out is being paid in the yuan. And since 1974, every drop that passed through there had been paid for in U.S. dollars, which
Mm-hmm.
mostly got funneled back into the U.S. Treasury market.
You think any of this will lead to the
So
collapse of support for the Ukraine, so they'll collapse and that war will end by Ukraine collapsing and losing support?
I mean, I don't, I,
Anything's possible
I
at this
think,
point, but
I think Russia and Ukraine is like when my cat gets a shrimp. She picks out so she sits where I'm sitting and just looks in the water. And if she sees a shrimp swimming by, she swats it out of the water. And I mean, if I can really small shrimp, about the size of Marco Rubio's micro penis. Did you see his fucking shoes? Did you see his clown shoes? Holy shit!
uh-huh.
His feet he's like size 4. He's got like size 4 feet. um, yeah, he's got a. And I'm not talking about big jumbo shrimp. I'm not even talking about the normal shrimp you buy in the frozen bag. I'm talking like fucking little bug sized shrimp. Uh, anyway, but she doesn't eat them. She's like Putin with Ukraine. She gets it out of the water. She gets up and she brings it up into the cockpit and she puts it on the floor and she plays with it. And she just plays with it, plays with it, plays with it until it finally dies and quits flopping around. And then she looks at it. She's kind of sad, and then she goes to catch another one.
I feel like this is two guys at the beach, and if they were both using their own wallets, it wouldn't have gone this far.
Yeah, but it would have because
No,
there's
no.
a cabal that's behind all of this, and Putin's
I
as much of
understand.
a puppet for him as Trump is.
Like, well, right, okay, but my point is,
And
it's at some
I
point,
would say even Soros
at
is a
some point,
puppet.
Ukraine and Russia are going to realize they're on the same side.
Yeah. Well,
Not immediately, but I think that's not that far away.
when the Illuminati puppet masters accomplish what they really want to get done, which we don't know yet, then it'll end. That's probably say if the goal of okay, so Trump, so I get in these big ass arguments with Chat GTP. I said no, the U.S. dollar is going to collapse suddenly. He said, Chad, Chat GTP. It'll
Right,
take
right.
years and years because it's too. I think he just turned years and years into months with this war. because the petrodollar was based on the U.S. being the policeman of the goddamn oil producing region. That's why we had 35 bases there. We had 27 of them wiped out in this war. And we're not going back, and they don't want us back. But the reason they wanted us there wasn't because they were worried about Iran and shit like that. The reason they wanted us there was that we our military, all those bases and all those Navy ships that were in the Gulf of the Persian Gulf, they enforced the hegemony of the U.S. dollar in the petroleum market. I mean, that's what Saddam Hussein did that pissed him off. He was going to sell. Excuse me. He was going to sell. He was working on a deal to start selling oil in euros.
Right.
Yuan's there. I mean, Iran has been selling for petro yuan since we blockaded them.
Right. But remember who was the first person that visited Trump in the White House? You remember that?
It was somebody that the Zionist media wanted us to pay attention to. That's for sure.
It was pretty low key. It didn't get a lot of publicity. I mean, you'll remember it once I say it. Somebody, one of Iran's closest neighbors, Qatar.
Oh yeah. But they're hugely important to us.
That's what I mean. Qatar made a huge donation to the United States, plus the old 747. But anyways, they were there like within the second week after he was inaugurated or whatever, took office. It was immediately Qatar was there. I think it's hard to keep.
But
I mean, I think that's what was the precursor to Iran was. I think that was kind of contingent on him becoming president. It's like, you gotta take care of Iran for us. We got you in the White House type stuff.
Yeah, I bet you that was. I mean, why do you think that Miriam Abelson or whatever gave Trump like billions of dollars for his campaign? It was to do this Iran war.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that want this to happen. It's not just Israel. It's I know you want him to be Netanyahu's bitch all the time, but there's a lot of countries we're in bed with there.
I would say Israel is a subdivision of the United States instead of the other way around. It's like what Lamborghini is to Porsche Audi, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a high profile but small operation.
I also think I think Trump is irritated with Israel and doesn't like to be tied to it at all, I think.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but he'll throw him under the bus when his handlers tell him to.
Uh-huh.
And I think we really are seeing like a civil war in the ruling elite.
Yeah.
Where the one group wants to create Fortress America, and the other group wants to just destroy America and Europe and move all the operations to China, where they know how to.
So why is Trump going to China then? Trump's going to China here real soon. Why is he going?
Well, he's not.
I mean, he's going in person. Him and the wife are going. They're going deep into China. It's not even meeting somewhere else in the world.
Forget that. Okay, you got to think, when I talk about the ruling elite, I'm talking about the people the Rothschilds work for. I'm talking about the Pope and the King child raping Charles's
and the lizard
boss.
People. Right? Yeah.
I don't know. The fucking could be lizard people. It doesn't really matter. They might not even be on this earth. You know, they might be on the dark side of the moon in some goddamn all-inclusive resort or something.
Right. I don't know. It just surprises me he's even going to China, but
no, it's not because they you know, it's like they get their marching orders, they get their script, and they all work together. It's like, you know,
I know, but I don't know what that does for public opinion. Like, why does he go to China for the world to know? It's like, who cares?
you ever see that scene in Blazing Saddles where the cow at the end the cowboys crash through the stage onto that where that gay musical is,
Right.
and
Dom
Dom
DeLuise.
DeLuise goes, "Watch me, faggot."
Yep.
and
Yes,
he
sir.
and
And
they're
he
like,
goes, sounds like
like,
steam escaping. Remember, he
yeah,
goes, yes,
yeah. And he goes,
sir.
they hit get him, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they got this big fight between the gay dancers and the cowboys, and it just breaks out,
That
and they're
that
like beating
that
the
was
shit out of each
that
other.
was that was probably the most masculine role that Dom DeLuise ever had. Was being in charge of
Yeah,
a
but
bunch of
so they
homosexuals. He was like the
right,
most.
but you remember that? Okay, but here's the scene.
Otherwise,
Here's the
he's
scene
always a
that's
submissive
politics.
cuck, you know.
Right. So the scene is this the that is the allegory for the way that politics works. They're like beating each other bloody on stage, and and then they roll into this like other room. It's this little gay guy, and then this big masculine cowboy, and then they come walking out the backside,
Right,
and they're off
right.
stage and off set, and they're like switching phone numbers so they can have a
Right.
date
They got their
later.
arms around each other. Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's Putin and Macron and all those. There can be like and Trump and all those, but then they're sucking each other's dicks when they get off camera.
Sure.
Uh,
I don't know.
I just thought of something. Speaking of that,
oh, go ahead. I just never felt like China was really on our side anyways. So I was just curious why you'd even go there.
I'm losing my. I got I'm getting knocked away from my Starlink. I got to go back up in the hot cockpit. I'm losing my.
Sure. Signal
I,
or whatever. Right.
sometimes sometimes when like the current changes and the boat changes direction, even in a calm place like this, it twists around a little bit, and I'll lose Starlink in the fringes.
Sure.
Um, yeah, it's change the subject a little bit. Um, how many when you watch these first ladies get old? Well, I don't know about Jackie Onassis. She probably didn't have a dick.
No.
I see a lot of people arguing that Marilyn Monroe was a trans person. I was like, no fucking way. No way. I'm not going to buy that.
How long? Okay, I've been hearing that story since I was a teenager. That story's been floating around a long time. That's not even new. I mean, not that I buy into it, but I've heard that since like the 90s or something like that, or the 80s. I've heard that story.
You look at people like
But I mean, I'm just surprised to
Bush.
hear it that long ago to even say that. It just.
I mean, well, go back. I don't know. What's her name? What's his name? FDR's husband.
J. Edgar?
No. What the hell was her name? Eleanor
Roosevelt. Yeah.
Look at a picture of her, for God's sake.
Oh, yeah. She's
Look at her Adam's apple, for God's sake.
Stoic woman. Yeah.
Yeah, and Barbara Bush and we're both Bush wives. Barbara was the old pervert man. God, he was like oh, you know what else? I'm starting to believe that maybe Epstein wasn't all about blackmail. I think he was actually a really good money launderer. So he was like money laundering a lot of that dark money that got funneled.
He might have been the one that was funneling it back to the people that were getting paid to carry out.
Yeah,
but
and the reason they were raping all the kids and having the human sacrifices is that's what they do for fun.
That's a side journey. Yeah, that's not the right. They've made it the main focus, but it's really not. Yeah, that's their recreation.
Beings are going to make it.
Well, yeah, and that's
their main focus.
And that's something to get the public to buy in it even more, is to make it sound something like that so outlandish that they bite into it and want to know more or whatever. You know what I mean? People are thirsty for that kind of drama.
You know, there was a an Epstein email that referred to Trump giving Bill Clinton a blowjob.
I saw or heard about that. Not it was kind of recently, within the last month or so, I thought.
It was
That's
when those files were released.
yeah,
Those 3 million emails or whatever,
right.
and it was nobody's denying it. They just don't want to. We don't talk about that sort of thing. No, that's you know that's that's uh
Well,
that's
that's
just distasteful to talk
but
about
like I
that. Well, I bet it was
well
distasteful to do it too.
well, but like I touched on earlier too, there is so much going on right now. You can't focus on everything that's going on. And all this, like I said before, a lot of this crap's distraction, so other stuff can be carried out. Uh,
I think the pedophilia though is just. I mean, look at the way Biden sniffed little kids' hair. You've seen those videos, right?
oh yeah, yeah, he's just creepy. Yeah, there's something wrong with him. There's something
Yeah, I mean,
that.
he was enjoying the hell out of it.
Well, I mean, that just shows you because without dementia, Alzheimer's, he'd be able to control himself. So when he's
He was
losing,
doing
when
that
he's
before he had dementia. He was doing that when he was vice president.
yeah. Anyways, my only thought
He
is
was
it's
because
harder and harder to hold back on stuff that's natural if your mind's slipping away. What I mean is, I think that's just his true self surfacing.
there's who is it? Okay, these are kind of woo people like what's her name, Dorothy, Dolores Cannon,
Oh
and
boy.
Cliff High, and some of these people. There's a lot of people that say that there was that were GMOs, right? The human slave herd was GMO. We didn't
Okay.
just pop out like monkeys fuck monkeys until they came over the course of a million years. The hairy ones made their dicks harder than the hairless ones. You know what I mean? It was a natural selection.
Right.
Uh, uh, so because all of a sudden it was like one day we weren't here and one day we were. There's no fossil record of it. So we were probably test tube GMOs like you know Roundup Ready corn,
Well, that was
and
something that I forgot what the theory is or what the story is, but it was about how basically between like ancient Egypt and the the pyramids and stuff, we were a much larger race human wise, and now our current incarnation is like basically half the size physically. Because how would
yeah,
you
yeah,
how
yeah. We got
because that would better explain the pyramids. It's just that we were just some big
it would
mfers back then.
it would explain the goddamn Minneapolis fucking city hall. That was like built for giants. Look at the size of the goddamn doors and the steps and shit.
Yeah, but that's in that's in recordable history though.
You find me a picture of them building that motherfucker. I can find you lots and lots of pictures of them building goddamn log sawmills, log grain mills down by the river in the mud. But I can't find any goddamn pictures of them building the city hall. You'd think that would be a pretty big deal
Which city hall?
because it
St.
looked like
Paul?
there were
Or are you talking about Minneapolis?
Minneapolis and St. Paul and St. Paul. But but and okay, there's a lot of pictures downtown Minneapolis in different buildings. They've got all these historic pictures of them building like the Pillsbury Mills and shit. And they're building them out of logs in the goddamn mud with like ox and shit, dragging logs and ox to build grain mills down by the river. And and okay, so they were able to get down there in the mud and they get pictures of that shit. But how come they couldn't get pictures of them building those spectacular goddamn palaces downtown, which in according to the official records came before the goddamn the log grain mills down by the goddamn river. I've seen grain mills down by Nicollet Island, that area where they were building grain mills in the mud down there, and you can see the goddamn Minneapolis City Hall in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So how the hell did they do that? Or was it there before for like the giant races?
I don't know if I can buy that deep into it, but
Uh, but anyway,
because
here's what
the streets are pretty narrow for giants.
well, yeah, not for
Well,
sidewalks.
well,
They didn't
but
have they didn't have like big giant 4-wheel drive pickups, where they're giant size
right,
4-wheel
right.
drive
Well, and
pickups.
that was brought up too about how did we go from flying to space travel in whatever 60 years or whatever it was, 50 years. Did we get we had
So
where did we get our bump in technology? How did we evolve that quickly in that
well,
arena?
this gets back to the what I was talking about. So Dolores Cannon came up with this 3D, 4D, 5D stuff that you hear all the pink cloud new age people talking about. But she knew what she was doing. She did a lot of research. She was doing like hypnotherapy. Her husband got in a really bad car accident, and so she was a psychologist, but she'd been raising kids. So she hadn't worked for a while. So she started doing this hypnotherapy to help people quit smoking and shit like that. Um, Treat alcoholism and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
she just kept getting all this stuff, and she didn't know what kind of crazy shit they were saying to her. It turned out it was like past life regression shit. And she did it for like, she died in 2012, I think, and she started doing this like 1962. So it was a while. Um, so like 50 years she did this shit. She got a lot of stuff. And but she came up with some pieced together some stuff from this, and I'm not saying you should believe it or not. I'm just saying it's pretty damn interesting. She
Mm-hmm.
said that there was like she said that humans they've consciously like created a world where we're too distracted and have too shitty of diets to actually develop true consciousness. And
Okay.
when we develop true consciousness,
So we're
we're going to
drones.
become like
So we're
no,
drones.
we've just been chemically and behaviorally dumbed down to be more controllable.
Neutered.
We're the
Right.
human slave herd.
Sure.
Yeah. And she said that the time would come like around 2026, 2025, 2026, where enough people are going to start figuring out what the fuck that it's going to be impossible to control the human slave herd.
Okay.
And she said then but there's this Cliff High calls them the Elohim worship cult. They're like the overseer class. Um, you remember the Samuel Jackson character in Django Unchained?
Yep.
You remember what they called them? The house, something we can't
Yep.
say or
Yep.
shouldn't probably
Yep.
say.
Yep.
Um, so this class they were engineered. Well, they apparently tried twice. The first batch they did was in Mesoamerica, like in Central America, like the Mayans and the Aztecs. And that blew up in their face because they created a race that was too smart and they were uncontrollable. And a little crazy too. Um, so then they went to the Kazakh mountains and developed what the Khazarian tribe, and they were clever. They were clever enough to be able to follow a plan and carry it out exactly as they were supposed to. But they didn't. They lacked creative thought. They lacked independent thought. Um, uh, and that seems to be what we call the Khazarian mafia. So, and most of them are Jewish, and that is what Israel. That's what Israel was formed by these people. They had a. So this is historically. You can look this up. I don't know, like right around the time the Vikings started to raise hell. The king or emperor of Russia. He became Christian. He became Orthodox Christian. So he issued an edict that all the people in Russia would have to choose one of the three Abrahamic religions. They had everybody. It was a law. You had to either be a Christian, like an Orthodox Christian, Jewish, or Muslim, because they had all three there. So oh wow, a ray just jumped out of the water. I got a video of a baby dolphin jumping right about where I'm anchored right now, maybe 2 weeks ago. Um, it's pretty cute. But anyway, so this Khazarian tribe, they were in the Caucasus Mountain regions. They were really brutal. They and this is probably what Dolores Cannon called the slave overseers 4D, and they have a slight genetic difference. It's like a stub piece of DNA, and the only two people that have it in the world are like the Mayans and the Aztecs. They call it the dongle. It's like a little tag DNA piece in their genes. And the Ashkenazi Jews from the Kazakh mountains, the Khazarian tribes. And so the only reason they're Jewish is because back in like 725 or whenever that law was passed, that they just picked Judaism because they're not related to the goddamn Palestinians. Like the real Semitic people were like in places like Iran and Persia. Persia had like the largest. Persia and Morocco had and Ethiopia and maybe Somalia had like the largest um, Jewish populations, like real Semitic Jews, like from the Semitic tribes. And Iran still has a huge Jewish population. But and most of the people living in the goddamn Palestine they're not Palestinian, they're Polacks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's probably a bad word.
No, you can say Polak, I think. I don't think that's a bad word.
Yeah. But yeah, they are. I mean, they're Polish. They're genetically Polish. They're not Palestinian. They don't have Semitic blood.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Vikings probably have more Semitic blood because they were traveling all over the Mediterranean raping women, you know?
Right.
They're hardy, you know. Vikings are hardy buggers.
Uh-huh.
You're Norwegian, right?
Yeah, and German. Yeah, my niece found us all the way back to Prussia, I think, and I forgot. She thought we were somehow related to the Norwegian royal family or something like that.
Oh, friends of Jeffrey Epstein. You've heard about that?
Oh God, no.
Oh, they're actually thinking about getting rid of the Norwegian royal family. They've been putting a law about it. They've had a law that's been waiting in the wings for like 7, 8, 10 years.
Oh.
But now the prince, the queen to be, a whole bunch of horrible shit came out about her and Jeffrey Epstein in the emails. She'd been having I heard he's got like a real deformed little wiener too, or he did have. But uh, but apparently it was enough for uh, the future queen of Norway. There were like real sexual banter emails between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And this was after he'd been busted for being a pedophile. And her son he might have been convicted. He's on trial for like 14 or 17 rapes or something. And that gets me back to what I was talking about, those 4D people. One of the things about you know who a good example of this is? They just have absolutely no control. The Epstein class is they're of the Khazarian mafia. They're of the Khazarian tribe, whether they're Jewish or, Church of England, doesn't goddamn matter. The fucking Pope of Roman Catholic Church, it doesn't matter. But they have absolutely no, they're like, I've read things that people that have been around these people say that they have to they have to like keep tabs on them when there's women around or boys or whatever it is that turns them on, because they're just so uncontrollable. They might just drag somebody into a freaking coat room and start cornholing them. And that's kind of what Jeffrey Epstein, or not, that's kind of what Harvey Weinstein was like. I I mean, Bill Cosby wasn't a whole lot better, and he was probably of that bloodline. If you look at it, what every goddamn president is related, they're all like, you've seen that, right?
Mm-mm.
It's real. You can trace their bloodlines all back to the same families. It doesn't matter if they got Barack Obama colored skin or Joe Biden colored skin.
Kind of like Newsom's family being all involved with California politics. And
Yeah. Hunter Thompson wrote about that. I forget what the essay. He wrote an essay. It was really good. He was writing about how the super rich are just like horrible rapists, and they rape their own children all the time. Uh, because he said that they really take this keeping the bloodlines pure shit seriously.
Hmm.
Because they're all descended from like 13 families, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, um, Look into that. It's pretty interesting. There's somebody, they don't, they used to say this was like conspiracy theory. Now they just try not to talk about it because some kid did the family tree history, and he did this huge family tree. It was like a high school student in Florida, but it was impeccable research, and they're all goddamn related to each other because they think their genetic background is so pure, and they all have the dongle. And I've heard that they have a hard time. Part of the reason they rape their own children so much is because uh, they find like real humans kind of repulsive. They said real humans have like a repulsive smell to people with the dongle.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been. Anyway, that's just a theory, but it's an interesting one.
Uh-huh.
And they all are related. That's not a theory. That's fucking just. And if you look at the way they behave, the fact that they're just horrible child molesters and rapists is not that surprising.
Right.
I mean, if this thing about it's almost like they have to. You ever read The World According to Garp?
No.
Garp was a ball turret gunner that got just really fucked up in World War II. It was Garp's dad, and he was like totally brain damaged, and he would just masturbate constantly. And his name was all it said on his papers was T.S. Garp. He's Technical Sergeant Garp. So so he would just masturbate constantly, like and he was happy, nice, otherwise harmless guy, but he just masturbated constantly. But once he'd accidentally, he was kind of, he wasn't too smart. He was totally brain damaged, and he started a fire and he burned his hands really bad. So this nurse felt sorry for him, so she'd jerk him off. This is the book, World According to Garp. I don't think it was in the movie, but and then uh, he was dying. His brain, he was like fading away, and he would just say his name all the time. He'd go Garp, 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 Garp. That was the only word he said. He'd masturbate and go Garp, 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 and then it was Arp, Arp, R, R, and then he was just kind of going and he couldn't masturbate because his hands were all burned up. And so she was jerking him off, and she knew he was dying, and so she was ovulating, and she wanted to have a kid. She didn't want to get married, so she just climbed on him and took his seed and planted it, and then he died soon after. So and then she was in labor when the baby was born. She hadn't thought of a name, so she said she just named the World According to Garp. She named him T.S. Just the letters T. S. Garp, Techno Sergeant Garp, but he didn't have a name besides T.S. Garp, the Robin Williams character. It's a good book.
So it's kind of like Forrest Gump, huh?
No. That was just the beginning. That's like the first. That was like the birth of Garp. It was all about. It wasn't like Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. I really despise that movie. I just despise it because it like glorifies stupidity, and it paints stupidity as the desired state of being. and it's like it's programming. It's predictive programming.
Right. It's to make you feel good about being dumb.
Stupid, yeah, yeah. To make you feel worse, yeah. To make you feel bad about being smart.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's the fairy tale stuff. Yeah. Good
Yeah,
things happen to dumb people if you believe hard enough. Yeah.
yeah.
The people that buy lottery tickets. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never bought. I've given people that just wanted money to go buy a bunch of them, and it's you're sitting around at the bar, and somebody you give them $5 or whatever. I could care less. I never even.
Oh, who did
For all I know,
I
some of
think
them won.
I forget. Maybe it was my girlfriend's Russian. Maybe it's her. I was trying to explain to her what pull tabs were. It's like, what?
Yeah.
What's that about? It's like, well, you just sit at the bar and you tear pull tabs open. You have potential to win money. How much? Oh, I don't know, $100. Why? Exactly. Why? Something to do while you're
That's
drinking.
yeah. That's my. I don't like gambling. I mean, I don't mind. I like to play cards. I don't mind playing like poker for quarter poker. You know. Uh,
I don't know if you saw my
couple, couple,
short video, but I've been diving into the ADHD stuff, trying to understand my brain a little better since I was diagnosed about a year ago or whatever. And I don't get pleasure from nicotine or alcohol. I never have. And I didn't understand why people got drunk and like cigarettes. I get nothing from that. I get no dopamine. I get no pleasure feel. And I always wondered why people got addicted to stuff that made them feel like shit. It's like, I mean, I get drunk.
that's not a bad thing.
I can get drunk. It's not like I'm immune to the effects of it, but I don't feel any pleasure for it. So there's no reason to drink that much.
Yeah, I know how you feel. You know, I, I okay, I'm, I, I absolutely like. I don't want religion anywhere near my world because religion is dogmatic thought designed to control people. But I've been getting a lot more like spiritual lately,
Mm-hmm.
and like I've been reading a lot about like the Gnostic Gospels and stuff, and like the real Jesus stuff, which is pretty cool. Not the shit they teach you in
Right.
child rape. I
Sunday
mean,
school.
child raping
Yeah.
building Sunday school. Yeah, uh, but it's pretty interesting. But but I I don't know. You know, I mean, I'm not convinced that there's not like a real like a you could almost call it demonic energy in the world. And I think alcohol. I've really started to not enjoy beer or wine because I almost feel like it's just trying to open me up to energy I don't want in me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you know, I have a beer with my friends, a glass of wine with meal, but
And that's pretty much the
I,
only times I've ever drunk or usually drink is with somebody else because they are, not because I want to and not because I'm opposed to it. It's just like I don't understand the connection to it. And that's
yeah, I'm not telling other people they should do what they should or shouldn't do, but just for me, it's more and more. You know, I'm thinking sometimes I do this little exercise like, what if I was a father? What I would want to live in a way that I wouldn't want to. I never want my kids to hear "do as I say, not as I do."
as of right now, you don't have any kids, do you? From your previous relationship,
Not of my
right?
own. No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no.
I didn't think so. I couldn't remember.
I, as far as I know, nobody's admitted that I've spawned any
Well,
progeny.
I, it's,
Okay.
it, changes you so much having a child. It's such a different way of everything changes. And I always say that to people because I don't want to make it sound like it's negative and I don't know how to say it in such a way that it's whatever. My point is your mind just goes in a different direction. You experience things you've never experienced before and there's nothing you compare it to. So it's hard to explain it to anybody without experiencing it. And some people's knee jerk reaction is always to minimalize it to something they can relay it to. And I'm like, no, it's not like having a dog. It's not like, that kind of shit. So it's kind of like, is not a fair way to explain it because
it's more like a complete different perspective on the world.
Yes.
It's more like going from freaking metric toolkit to fucking standard toolkit.
Right. There's a certain amount of naivete in people that have never had children. And you can tell right away talking to people a lot of times, it's like, you wouldn't talk that way if you had a child, at least if you were attached to your child. You can tell a parent, it's just very different. It reshapes you as long as you're part of the experience and you're connected to your child. But yeah, it forever changes the way your life will be. And it changes your outlook. It's just a really different experience. And it's just hard to give it a fair shake, and just kind of make people to be aware of it. And it's like, yeah, you can say that now, but after it happens, you'll change. Guarantee.
I believe you.
I believe
you.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's fun. It's cool. It's something. Yeah. And that would reshape the world if we weren't trying to talk everybody out of having kids. That's the other thing. It's, you can see
How fucked up is that?
Yeah, you can see that with the media. It's been going on for a long time, basically trying to talk certain ethnicities and races, whatever, not to have children anymore.
Northern Europeans.
Yeah.
Trying to make the Northern Europeans extinct.
It's burdensome. It's expensive. You know how much is to send a kid to college? It's like, I know you didn't come from a wealthy family either. We weren't wealthy. It wasn't something, but it was something you just did. You just rise to the occasion that's what happens when you're a parent. You don't think that you can't do it. It's just like, okay, now what do I got to do now to make this work? So the way they present it to people that haven't experienced it before and don't understand it, it's this huge financial drain that's going to ruin your independence. It's basically, we want to keep you a narcissist is what it is. Because as long as you're a narcissist, you're going to be wrapped up in your own crap all the time. You're not going to be benefiting the people in your community or society as a whole. You're going to be so focused in on your own greed that you won't benefit the world. You won't do anything of value, Well, what me and you might call value, but whatever. And, that same thing with feminism. It's like it destroyed the family unit, or it's trying to, or it's still, well, I guess it is. It pretty much has. I mean, it's very much deterred, the 50s mentality of what a family was and what the goals in life were, that's, I don't know. It's the crumble our society, or at least that culture.
Yep.
And then make us feel guilty. Then make us feel guilty for doing that. It's like, why does she feel guilty for having kids and reproducing,
Well, you know what? Fuck them.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the sky get clearer? There were some clouds before. Now it almost looks sunnier almost.
The sun came out. It's been kind of rainy all day today. It rained really hard last night, like really hard.
Sure.
In fact, it's been a couple of shitty days that I've been at this anchorage. But, it was nice for a while yesterday, and I swam and I worked out. Today is the first day I haven't done any exercise at all in a long time.
Okay.
I shouldn't say that because I will get chewed out from somebody.
From the other.
Well, this one, She's my feline first mate.
Mm-hmm.
She's a good cat. She's a nice cat. I
That's
do like her.
that's why you're not traveling. You couldn't find a safe place to leave the cat.
I don't want to talk about it. I'll tell you about it sometime. But
Last time we talked, you were
what's
very
that?
concerned. You were very concerned about where the cat would go, where the cat could live while you were gone.
Yeah, yeah. Well, remember
Now,
that?
now
Remember
imagine those.
that?
Now imagine those feelings amplified by 100 times if you have a child. That type of situation.
Yep, I get it. I do. You know, I had a friend. Oh, I still do. But she was just a cat person. So she had her kids, and her kids are like probably in their 20s now. It's the oldest ones. But nice people, really nice people. Live
Mm-hmm.
up by Duluth. They actually live in the kind of by a Knife River,
Okay.
and they. She once said to me, and I didn't get it. Now I get it. She said, you know, she'd been my girlfriend's roommate in college, right?
Okay.
And she said, you know, I and they love their cats and dogs. They were just total
Yep.
cat people. But she said, after I had my first kid, my whole outlook on life changed so much
Mm-hmm.
that that it's like she still loved her pets. They still had
Right.
pets,
Right.
but
Changed her
they
perspective.
all of a
Right.
sudden went. Yeah, I mean, your pets could be the whole focus of your life if you don't have kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your person you have your kids with should also be focused in your life too. And that
Mm-hmm.
kind of the way life should be. I mean, just the normal progression is you're with your family, you grow up, you create your own world, and you have your own family, and then the woman you fall in love with. Because you're not gonna, if you fall in love with a dude, you're probably not gonna make any babies. You know,
Right. Right.
uh, the woman you fall in love with becomes your family, and then the humans you create become your family, and that's you
That's
make a
how. That's
family.
how you take over the world. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Attila the Hun.
Have
Right.
a little Viking army.
Uh, mongrels.
Yeah, Mongols. I like Mongols better. Mongolian hordes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. You know, or they could be pretty Scandinavian if you find the right
Uh-huh.
pairing.
Uh-huh.
Uh, yeah, you know, most of my life, I had a lot of blonde Scandinavian looking girlfriends in my life
Uh-huh.
and wives. You know? uh, but I always thought I always thought, you know, I most of the time as a single person, I was dating women from the Middle East and Africa and places like that. You know, it was, and, you know, I grew up around a whole lot of beautiful,
Right.
blonde, big-titted women. You know,
Right. Right.
and I loved them, but it was just like, yeah, yeah. It's like you know, it's like if you grow up here and you look at this beach every day of your life, and it's where you go to work in, you know, work in a cafe or a bar or something, driving a boat around with a little rubber tubes on the back and stuff. Uh, you know, you probably don't think that much of it, but I
Uh,
bet you go away for a while and you come back, and then
yeah.
you realize how beautiful it is.
Right.
That's kind
Right.
of, you know, I had all these beautiful Scandinavian women in my family, and I loved them. They were wonderful people, but it just kind of, they're not what I just was, you know, wow, look at, you know, look at that, you know, dark haired gypsy woman. Now that's cool. Wow,
Right.
she's really hot.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
and because you're just what you see all the time, you just, I mean, imagine if you like, was that Bill Cosby joke before everybody found out he's a rapist when he talked about cake? Or no, that was Eddie Murphy. He said, "You just have a piece of cake." No, that was Bill Cosby. And you go, "Oh God, my God, cake's delicious." Some comedian. And anyway, then if you have cake every single meal, every single day, then after about a
Right.
few weeks or months or years, like, cake, you
Yep.
know.
No, yeah. Uh-huh. I've tried to explain that to other people in my life. It's like they want to live next to the mountains, and it's like I can't imagine seeing that every day. I can. I mean, I'd say I'm not going to hate it, but eventually you take it for granted, and it's just your normal, you know.
Yeah, I mean, in Norway, we got mountains and ocean, and Norway's like Norway's a strip of land. It's like the longest coastline in the world. It goes way all the way up around, comes down to Russia. It goes like
Mm.
way up in the Arctic, and then it goes. It's north of Sweden, north of Finland, and then it goes down to Russia.
It's not as long as the
And
Aleutians.
the longest continuous coastline in the world
Right.
of any country in the world. It starts at Sweden, goes up to Oslo, which is Oslo, goes up to Oslo and comes down around almost all the way to Denmark, and then it goes up to like all the way up in the goddamn way past the Arctic Circle, around, and it comes back down. It goes around Sweden, around Finland, and it comes back down to Russia. Uh, it's but most of the people live on the fringe of it because
Right.
mostly
Right.
it's just these really rugged mountains and then coast. So that little it's like in Canada, it's too goddamn cold and the mosquitoes are too vicious to live anywhere but the American border. You know,
Right. Right. It's like all these vast wastelands. It's like they're all it's very concentrated populations because
you ever ride
most of it's
motorcycle?
huh?
You ever ride motorcycle along the Rainy River up there?
No. I mean,
On the U.S.
I went around Superior. I've done that. That was kind of fun.
No, if you go from like Lake of the Woods down to the Boundary Waters, down to like um,
You mean Highway 1?
it's like towards Ely. No, there's a yeah, maybe it is Highway One, the one that it goes from. It
Highway
goes
1 Silver Bay to Ely.
yes, starts at Drayton. It goes through. It goes all the way to War Road, and then it follows the Rainy River
That's
down to like International Falls.
2 goes across the state and goes through Bemidji and stuff. And then 1
No, it's right on the border up there, on the northern border. And
No.
I don't think it's Highway One. It's Highway.
No.
I don't know what the
No.
hell it is.
No,
It's
one just goes from Silver Bay to Ely. So
yeah.
south
That goes through. That starts at actually at Oslo,
right.
Minnesota, right on the North Dakota border, at the Red River. Goes through Warren, Thief River Falls, through Red Lake Indian Reservation,
No,
in
that's not
Bemidji.
that's Highway 2.
No, that's not it. Highway One's a 2 lane. It's not a 4 lane. Highway Two is the 4 lane from Grand Forks to Duluth. You're
Right.
going to say I'm right because I
I
know
thought
that map. I could draw that map.
I got to see it.
Highway One's and Highway One. It used to be back in the '90s, even the '80s for sure, and into the '90s. There were sections of it up towards Ely that were still gravel. It goes through Warren. It goes right by the
Well,
Warren County
now
Courthouse
it's
where I.
they redid it. Now it's 4 lane. There's a lot of 4
It
lane on
isn't
it
four
now.
lane. It's not 4 lane in Marshall County. Maybe up by Ely, it's 4 lane, but it's still
Right.
2 lane up
They
until.
straightened out a bunch of it because it was such a mess. It was because
Yeah, that's after it.
the roots were heaving the asphalt and stuff, and they needed to go through it, so they straightened it. And oh no, it's not 4 lane. They just made it really wide. That's right. They cut it back a long ways because it was kind of like a tunnel driving through the woods in a lot of spots. So they
Yeah,
cut
I
the
used to
tree. They
love it.
cut they cut the trees back. So they made a lot of grassy shoulders so you could see further ahead and not be restricted.
Anyway, when you drive along that from War Road to International Falls, uh, it's it's right. It's the Rainy River. It's right. It follows the Rainy River, and the Rainy River is the border between Canada. It's like Ontario and Minnesota. So on the Minnesota side, you're in the most wild, rugged country. There's like wolves and shit on the road.
State Highway 11. It
And
says State Highway
yeah,
11.
it's Highway 11. Highway 11. That's what. That's it. It goes. It starts at It goes at Drayton, North Dakota. Goes through Donaldson, um, Carlstad, Greenbush, Roseau. Then it hits the Canadian border at War Road, and then it follows the Canadian border along the Rainy River all the way down to International Falls.
So
Trust me,
it's
I've ridden on that. I bet you 100 times on my motorcycle.
oh
I've
it
driven it
changed.
probably that many times fishing. Pardon?
It changes a couple. Let's see, because then it says 53, and then it says 217.
Well, if you follow it, you can. Well,
Oh
Highway
yeah,
11, yeah,
11 starts in International Falls. Yep.
yeah. So when you're driving that stretch in Minnesota is really wild. I mean, there's like moose and there's elk up there and shit. It's just crazy. There's wolves and cougars and there's like little towns called like Williams. Towns like Williams, population of like 14.
Well, yeah, I lived in Thief River for
I
a
mean, it's
while. I lived in Thief River for a little bit.
a freaking metropolis compared to what I'm talking about.
No, I know
Thief
that.
River is about the same size as War Road. And International Falls is actually a city. Um, it's like I don't know 35,000 or something like that, 45,000. Uh,
Another paper mill
I
town.
really know my
Yeah.
Yeah, I really know my Minnesota geography pretty well. I tried to ride motorcycle on every single road in Minnesota over the years, but I used to have a map that I draw like a Sharpie. I'd mark all the routes I took, and I tried to get all of them. I got a lot of them. Um, I'm a nerd. That's my ADHD.
War
I'm a
Road
good
to
navigator though.
War Road to Baudette
Anyway,
to Rainy River, Pinewood, Stratton, Barwick, Emo.
Baudette's like the east end. It's Rainy River starts at Baudette and goes down to International Falls.
Right. Yep. I'm looking at it. Yep.
Yeah. Um, so when you go there, so you're in this like wilderness like you never see in most places in the U.S. It's wilder than most places like Montana and Wyoming and shit. Uh, it goes into the boundary. It just becomes the boundary waters. You got a little bit of towns and shit by the Iron Range, and then it becomes the boundary waters.
I still think
But
the best vacation you can ever do is just drive cross country on the side roads. There is so much to see in this country.
yeah.
People fly all over
But
the
when
place,
you're
and it's like, man, there's so much to see in this country.
the weirdest part of that trip is you're in this wilderness, like primeval wilderness in the Minnesota side. You look across the river. It's it's the Ontario Riviera. you know,
Right.
it's like developed, and there's towns and lights, and you just look across the river, and it's like, and there's farmland and stuff. It's all developed because it's the warmest part of Ontario,
Right.
the coldest part of Minnesota. It's pretty cool. You should take that. Do you ever do many road trips on motorcycle anymore?
I haven't ridden a motorcycle in like 4 years now or 5. I don't know. Since I closed the
You
motorcycle
still got
school. I've
you
been
got
through
a Ducati still?
no. Dude, I've owned 70 some motorcycles. I
That
the
Ducati
last
was cool.
the last Ducati I crashed. like an hour east of Duluth in northern Wisconsin on a street ride, like on a Thursday night. There was a guy in Duluth that did like a Thursday or Wednesday night ride. And I wasn't working as much right then. I'm like, I'm going to go up there and ride with those guys for the night. And he was a decent guy. He'd let you stay with him and stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm just going to drive up there with the trailer and then go on this group ride and then stay at his place all night and then go home in the morning, you know? And I'd been on the ride a lot. Oh yeah. I had been on that ride many times. And he's like, and he was an older guy. So he's like, man, if you want to lead, go ahead. You know the roads. I'm like, sure. And there was this road that was a lot of quick successions of like 45 degree turns. And I had known it pretty well. And then at the very end, there's almost like a 180 hairpin. And I didn't time it right. And I'm like, I was like doing these little 45 degree turns, winging, you know, just high speed, blah, blah, you know, like slalom skiing downhill. And just, you know, quick switch ups. And then all of a sudden it was just long, you know, long radius. I'm like, oh shit. And there was no shoulder. And I was kind of right on the painted line of the edge of the pavement. And I did the magic fuck off. You look out in the weeds and that's where you go. If I would have just dropped my head and looked through the corner, and I preached that in my motorcycle school nonstop. If I'd have just dropped my head and looked through the corner, I'd have been fine. I wasn't going too fast for the road, but my head freaked out. I looked in the weeds and that's where I went. So I went out the corner. The bike spit me. I probably did some type of high side because, you know, when the bike tumbles fast, the gas tank just rips off. The gas tank just detached, you know, that kind of thing. And I collarbone punctured lung, deflated lung, broken ribs. And
how many years ago was that?
2011. Yeah, because I started the motorcycle school in 2013. So, and I just kind of popped up, and he's like, "You need to get to the hospital." I go, "What do you mean?" And he looks at me and drops one shoulder real low, and he goes, "This is what you look like." He goes, "You're fucked up." I'm like, "Don't feel fucked up." He's like, he goes, "Do you want me to call an ambulance?" And we're like an hour and a half from Duluth. I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm not going to pay that bill." He goes, "Because I can call my wife and she can come get us if you're willing to wait that long." I go, "Probably you have to wait that long no matter what." I says, "I feel good enough to wait for her." He's like, "I'll call her." He says, so we waited for her. And yeah, got to the hospital in Duluth, one of the Saint hospitals, St. Mary's. Is that what it was? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and they pinned and plated my collarbone almost instantly. We're going to put you in surgery. And I'm like, and I was just, you know, one of those things where you just like, okay. And they reinflated my lung.
I've been there.
And they're like, she's like, "There is nothing we can do to make sure you don't feel this. You are going to feel everything. We can localize where we put the needle in, but you're going to feel everything." And I'm like, okay. Because, you know, you're just kind of rattled anyways. And I'm not saying it's to brag, but I got a really high tolerance for pain. I didn't hardly feel any of it. But anyways, yeah. So they inflated my lung, left the ribs alone, pin and plated my collarbone. I was in really good physical condition then too. And I remember buddies telling me, if you're ever in the hospital, start pacing the floor, hang out the nurse's station. If you want to go home quick, last thing you want to do is sit in bed and take pain pills. If you show them that you're ready to go, they're going to let you go. And I'm like, okay. I was pacing the floor, driving the nurses nuts. She goes, "We would let you go, but you got a deflated lung. We have to monitor you for a couple days. Because the last thing you want to do is go home and have it collapse again." I'm like, okay. So I think I was there for 2.5, 3 days or whatever. That's the only time I've ever been in the hospital. Ever. So.
Well, glad you didn't get hurt worse. But yeah,
the 996 got totaled in that one. Yeah, that was the last day of the 996.
Is that the one with
that was the Ben Bostrom. Yeah, that was the Ben Bostrom replica one. The S. That was the last trip that bike was on. And then I got it back and I sold it to Anthony, which was one of the techs at Ducati Minneapolis, younger guy. Anthony Decker.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, he was kind of the Ducati guru. And he worked under Fred and Doug. He learned at Silverback. That's where he started working for Fred and Doug at Silverback.
Is that when they were in St. Paul?
Yes, and that's old strip warehouse, the old railroad
Yeah,
warehouse.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that, oh God, what year was that? Oh my gosh, that must have been the late '90s or mid '90s.
That
Remember?
was no,
Remember?
that was in the that was early 2000s.
Sure. Yeah, because I didn't even start writing till later in life. Yeah. Remember, he became a Benelli dealer
That
with
was
the Benelli reincarnation, the Tornado or
yeah,
whatever the main bike was that they came out, the green and silver. Fred bought one of those
it's pretty.
to become a Benelli dealer. And oh my God, I think he sat on that for 2 or 3 years before it finally went to somebody's home.
You ever see Doug Lofgren?
Yeah, Doug's still floating around.
I noticed he's
Doug's
been kind of
Doug.
laying low.
Doug's always
He
looking for a
seems
place
like
to operate out of and do what Doug wants to do.
How about Lou Lakey?
I never was close to him. I know you're friends with him, but I think I'm friends with him on Facebook. He may have unfriended me by now
He's a
because I started to be more open political stuff, but I used to see him post once in a while and I haven't seen in a long time, but
He's been laying low. I hope he's doing okay. He's a good guy.
let's see if he's,
He's one of my favorite humans.
I know. I was going to see if he comes up on my,
He's on. He's still on Facebook, but he posts motorcycle rides once in a while. He's been out in a couple already this year.
because
He still does.
because on Facebook it's LEWIS, right?
Lou, yeah, Lewis, not LOU. It's LEWIS. Lewis.
Yeah, he unfriended me. He's not even coming up on the search. Because usually, if you
He
search
is one of
somebody
the
that you're,
best.
usually if you search somebody that you're friends with, that's their name will come up first, and it doesn't even come up in the search.
I lost a lot of friends in the music community when I wouldn't get a desk
Oh
job.
no, there he is. Yep, I'm still friends with him. Let's see. Last time he posted anything was March 27th. It's not that long ago.
He was on a ride, yeah. He did a weekend ride. He
Yeah,
went out,
March 24th. He's got pictures. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we know he's still
yeah.
riding then.
He's good. He still rides like a freaking. He used to be a factory racer for Kawasaki.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, and he still rides like he's a factory racer. I got a friend here. Well, he's not here. He's been here. He's in. I don't know. I think he's coming back here. He was in Norway. He's marrying a Swedish. He's married to a Swedish woman, who's really cool. They're really nice people. Uh, I met him. I don't know, 5 years ago in Grenada. 4 or 5 years ago in Grenada, at like a
What were
bar
you doing in Grenada?
sailing. Sailing. It's beautiful there.
Did Ronald Reagan send you there? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
was that the Ollie
No,
North?
it
Was
was
that
a
the Ollie
cool
North
place.
deal? Was that the Ollie North deal? Grenada and Reagan?
No, that was the Iran Contra shit.
Oh,
That
who
was
was
all with that was El
who were
Salvador and
who were the
Iran.
names tied to Grenada then?
Grenada, they just went. There's like some medical school that got. They went and rescued or something, got taken over, and they sent the troops in, and I don't know.
Oh,
It was a goddamn PR. It was nothing. It was absolutely nothing.
sure.
But that is the place. It's an island. It's down by it's like north of Trinidad, Tobago, and that area down towards the South America. And when you follow the islands, the Caribbean islands, like go through the Bahamas and go through all these different. Then there's the last chain of islands before you go to Trinidad. Excuse me, Trinidad Tobago is called the Grenadines. It's really nice sailing down there.
I got
Beautiful.
I got friends in
But
Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, they're friends on Facebook.
the guy I met, so I was, he's married to a Swedish woman. So this is like, I don't know, 2022 maybe. And he, uh, he just seemed familiar. And I just couldn't place him. And we started talking. It turns out that when I was writing for Motorcyclist, he was He was one of the factory riders in the Harley 883 team. Remember the 883 series?
Mm-hmm.
Mostly it was just privateers, but there was Harley ran a factory team.
Right.
Don Tilley built the bikes. He's the guy that
Oh,
built that yellow Buell engine I had. That yellow Buell,
sure.
that crazy one, that silver one, that insane goddamn motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
But he was one of the factory riders, and I knew Don Tilley from working with Harley through the magazine. So I didn't get paid that much, so I'd always hang out with the famous people and get really good free gourmet food, right? So the Harley pits at Road America had really good barbecues. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
the Har at I mean, I had met him once or twice at the Harley pits at different um, what do you call that, flat track, the where they race the 750
Oh, the XRs.
uh, XRs, yeah. Um, and so
I
I
mean,
don't know if he was racing flat track or not. I think he
Like
was
Kenny
mostly
Roberts
road
stuff.
racing.
Yeah.
Well, like all those guys. It was a whole different crew. Kenny Roberts was one of the few people that did both, and so were the Haydens did flat track too. Um,
Oh my God. When we
and it's a Grand National. It used to be the AMA Grand National Series. I'm
was that in
sure the France
Indianapolis or
family
something?
just
Was that in Indianapolis or
they
something?
used to have, yeah, they have it all over the place. They have, 'cause they don't need road courses; they're flat dirt tracks.
Right.
They got them
Right.
all over the
Right. They
country.
could race at dirt ovals at fairgrounds and stuff like that. Right.
That was the kind of shit that Marty Matea and his wife did all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They did that in hare scrambles. They did flat track. That's really dangerous. I watched a guy get killed at Sturgis at the flat track one year.
So I did ice.
Um,
I did ice riding for a few years, with a 450, and all the different guys from all the different different types of racing were there, and oh my God, flat track guys.
like,
Oh my God, they just you can't touch them,
fucking
man. They're
nuts.
just they're not
Yeah.
scared of nothing. And some of the guys some of them didn't even have brakes on their bikes, and we're doing a road course. So I mean, they still didn't need brakes, and it was
my,
like,
yeah, my friend Jeff was he was he is paying. He did flat track racing too, but his paid gig I think was racing the 883s for a factory Harley team. When they
mm-hmm.
said that's like, I think they're racing in MotoGP. They're racing fucking Harley bangers or
Yeah, it's
something.
the bagger
right
class.
now.
Yeah, it's mostly Indian. And then
Yeah,
and then Polaris just
Indian's
sold
a nice
off Indian.
bike.
Polaris is done making motorcycles.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I think most people are going to be done making motorcycles. You know who's going to be making motorcycles? Chinese
Chinese
factories
in
building
India.
them super cheap little 125s for places like this.
Mm-hmm.
Transportation in places like this.
CF Moto's
like,
doing well too because they're so much less expensive than CF Moto's doing really good in America now. Because really they build a lot of the KTMs and stuff, so it's not like they're building junk, and they're a lot less money.
KTM is bankrupt still. I don't think they're racing and stuff this year, but they filed bankruptcy in the fall of 2024.
Oh geez. Okay.
And I think they've been in receivership. I think they're keeping going. So they got Husqvarna and I don't know, do they own Aprilia?
No. I think does Aprilia still exist?
They're still racing in MotoGP. They're doing
they
really
are.
well.
Okay, let me look them up then.
Vignales, I think, races in Aprilia.
Let's see, Aprilia ownership. Oh, Piaggio still owns Aprilia. That makes sense. The Italians like to buy their companies back. Italians like to keep
We're talking
stuff
about motorcycles.
That's fine. There's
Are we
nobody.
supposed to be talking
There's nobody.
about
There's nobody
baby
watching
rates and
anyway.
Politicians.
I'm watching the viewer count. It shows me, and people have drifted in and out a few times, but usually it's only for a few seconds. So it's like nobody's even paying attention. We had one person watching for a little bit when we were talking motorcycles, so I don't know. I don't have an audience right now. Doesn't matter what we talk
my
about.
viewership was going crazy, and then I got in trouble.
Well, you told me that you were
I was
getting reported
getting,
by somebody was hunting you down, kind of.
yeah. I was getting my first like 100, then 200, then 500, 600, 700. Then I got 1,000, like 1.2K. Then I got up to 3, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000. One day it just jumped up to 8,000. And then I caught the attention of some fuck. And my video that had 8,000 views, like 8K, people were reporting me for nudity. Because I live in the goddamn tropics. I wear swimsuits. Why would I wear anything but? I live in the ocean. I swim about 10 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I lost I might be losing you.
And he's gone. See if he calls back in. Well, that was Darwin Hallstrom. Maybe he doesn't want anybody to know his last name. That's Darwin. Darwin lives down in the Caribbean now. He's from the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, Minnesota area. Let's see. There he is. Hey, buddy.
I'm back. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I was talking about, that's weird. Just think about it. I was talking about getting, so the first time they reported me for nudity, I filed a complaint and they brought my video back on. That one was like 6,000 views, 6,000 views. Then the 8,000 view one, they said, we're not filing a charge against you for anything or a strike against you, but the video will remain removed. And now I was telling you the story about that, and I got deleted again.
Do you only do live streams, or was that a video you recorded and released?
I only do live streams because it's too much work to goddamn record them and do editing.
I know. So I was just curious anyways, so I went down the rabbit hole of seeing what it takes to get monetized, like on Facebook for content. Holy cripes. I couldn't get straight answers, and I used Grok, and Grok kind of told me, I don't trust Grok 100%, but Grok said you need 10,000 followers and 60,000 minutes of view time in the last 60 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Can you imagine 60,000 minutes of view time in only 60 days? So they're really just catering to people that are viral, or established audiences.
If I'd have wanted, I was on track for that. Because in the last 2 weeks I was doing it, in the last 14 days, I was doing it every day, and I was getting at least between 3,000 and 6,000 views a day, until it got up to 8. So that would have been 60,000 in 60 days.
Well, this is Facebook, not YouTube. You weren't doing Facebook stuff.
Oh.
YouTube, it's...
No, I don't even...
YouTube, it's 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time in a calendar year.
Oh, I was on track for that. I had 800 subscribers, and I looked at my view time. There's a lot.
Yeah, my other channel that's based on a hobby, it's at 856 for subscribers, and I was at 4,000 hours, I don't know, several months ago. And I did 80 some videos in a year. And I'm like, this is such a strangled audience because it's such a niche hobby. If I'm doing this for money, I'm doing it for the wrong reason, because it's never going to make a dime. And if it does, it's going to be one of those guys that makes $60, $80, $100 a month type crap. And I'm like, I just didn't want to stick energy into it anymore. It lost the fun part, and it wasn't making money. So it was really zero reward, and it's like, and it was so geared towards the hobby. It's like, if you veer off right now, you're going to lose most of your audience. So it doesn't really matter. So it's like, either you keep it going or you just walk away. I mean, I didn't kill the channel. I just got no reason to make videos, It killed the hobby too. I don't give two craps about the hobby anymore. It's like, I can't even think of making another video about it. My heart wouldn't be in it. It's like, girlfriend's like, oh, just do it so you get monetized. I'm like, you realize something like this is going to make $15 a month initially, right? I go, you talk like you're gonna like I just turn it back on. You're almost there. So, anyways, but you have to maintain so that 4,000 hours and 1,000 subscribers, you can cross the threshold on one of them, like you get your 4,000 hours, but you don't have your 1,000 subscribers yet. It'll show in the monetization, oh, you've achieved that goal. And I'm like, okay, now we just got to click off 1,000 subscribers. As soon as I stopped making
Yeah.
progress on it, I got less viewers because I wasn't doing updating content. And then once it slipped below 4,000 hours, then I lost credit for that. So you have to maintain that. So you can't even just coast over the finish line and then let it idle. You still have to maintain it. You still have to keep that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 of hours within a calendar year. So if like you can't just so it's just like, it wasn't taking off fast enough. I put a year into it and it wasn't even crossing the finish line yet or my goal. It's like, fuck this. Way too much effort.
I think I might go really dark when I go to Norway. I might just go offline.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I mean I'll have to keep if I still have a sailboat when I get there, that remains to be seen. But if I do, um, I'll have to have some internet connectivity to have have Starlink, and because you really need Starlink, and you need to be connected for the safe sailing to get weather and currents and stuff like that, and your
Right.
navionics routes. I don't know if that shit goes to hell. I'm gonna have to relearn how to use paper charts because I used to be good at it, but I don't know if I even know where to start anymore.
Right.
I used to really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I was really good at it. I used to do it in airplanes with like people flying little Cessnas. I really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
People that didn't have instrument ratings flying little Cessnas, I loved navigating for them.
That's the other scary thing is people like us phase out. It's like the younger generations, they can't survive off of analog. They're so
Some of them are, yeah, some of them can.
yeah, but they're
I know at
heavily
least
depend.
one
They're
that's pretty.
oh, I deal with that with the girlfriend. Doesn't know what direction anything is. Gotta look at GPS. I'm like, you don't know north, south, east, west. You should always know that, no matter where you're at. Nope.
You should maybe have some. You should maybe make some little Norwegian, German, Russian babies.
I've honestly even approached her about that, and she hates the world so much the way it is, she doesn't even want to consider it. And I'm like, all the more reason to. But anyways, I wouldn't
Yeah,
mind. I wouldn't mind having
repopulate
one
the
more.
Earth.
I wouldn't mind having one more. I feel I'm young enough to go through one more.
Oh yeah,
And she kind of buys
yeah.
into the hype of the world. It's like I go, dude, look at my kid. I had a good time raising my kid, and I got a good kid out of it. I'm not afraid to be a parent. You get good kids by being a good parent,
We learned from our mistakes the first time around.
Yeah, I mean, I a lot of whatever childhood trauma where it's like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I don't ever deal with this, this, and this. That was things I had in my mind when we decided to have Howie. I'm like, yeah, there's
my
things I
friend who my friend who made my amps had children later in life. He had a couple of kids when he was in his late 50s, and he raised a family before, and so I've known him since he was young, So he's
mm-hmm,
I've known the guy for what year is this? I've known him for like
26.
45 years. Yeah, and Jesus, I've known him a long time. 40, 41 years I've known him,
Mm-hmm,
and so I knew him when he raised his first family and his second family. Yes. And he is the best dad. That when he was in his late 50s, he was the best, one of the best dads I'd ever seen in my life.
mm-hmm,
No, maybe the very best. He just because he learned so much the first go around. He's a smart guy, so he learned shit.
mm-hmm.
Um, there's a Canadian catamaran over here. It's got Canadian flag. Most people don't fly their national
Flag.
flags. They just fly their courtesy flags. You do when you're out in the ocean, but when you get in port, you usually take your country flag down because you
Become a
don't want to
target.
just yeah. Yeah, it's
I gave
very few boats fly that once they get off the ocean, once they come into country, once they put up the courtesy flag,
sure.
which is the that says you've checked in legally.
Right. Dude, I gave up soda
Um,
now 3 weeks. I've been off of soda.
Good. My preaching and haranguing you had an effect.
Uh well, is multifaceted. Part of me getting more involved with the ADHD stuff is I was really having problems that were related to ADHD. And not to blame and point fingers or anything, a lot of it is the stress of taking care of my dad, And so I wasn't taking as good
Hmm.
care of myself. And then I get in this vicious circle of sugar and caffeine to try and give me a bump to feel better, to get to normal. And then all I do is gain weight. And it's just a vicious circle. And my gut was
Do you
really
feel better?
Yes. And I'm sleeping better. I don't know for sure, but I probably cut 5 to 10 pounds probably already. I mean, I'm sure I've dropped at least 5. So when I started all this, I did it with a doctor's visit. Like a lot of us, we don't like going to the doctor unless something's falling off or bleeding. And my kid's urging me. He's like, yeah, go to the doctor. You haven't been there for a long time. Okay. So I go to the doctor, did blood tests and all the basic stuff just to get a checkup and see where I'm at. And only thing was bad. Well, I mean, overweight and cholesterol was high. So it's like, oh, good. I was really happy I didn't have something like diabetes because that just chisels away at you. I mean, I understand you can control it with your weight and diet if it's not too bad, but that was one of those things where the ex-wife was a diabetic educator. So I heard all the horror stories with diabetes all the time. And it's like, they just start cutting your body away at some point. If you can't regulate it, you lose circulation. Okay, you're going to cut your foot off now. I'm going to cut your other foot off now. It's like, ugh.
The people that they start whittling away at like that, they're drinkers, almost always heavy drinkers. It's the sugar and alcohol that really fucks you up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyways, so I was grateful, no sign of diabetes, any of that crap. And it's like,
I'm
so I made
really
a,
glad you quit drinking soda.
yeah, thank you. So I made a bunch of big life changes all at the same time. And then I got to do a 30-day follow-up with the doc, which is April 17th. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to make all these big changes. And then I got 30 days to see how much those changes made in 30 days, to see if that's stuff that's going to make enough correction where it's like, okay, we'll just stay on this path. Because then I'll do another blood test and check all the stuff that was whatever, marginal or whatever. See if the cholesterol goes down after 30 days, that kind of stuff with what I've done. So, but yeah, I can feel the weight dropping, which is good. It's, I mean, you get older. Carrying weight just sucks as you get older. It's tough on your joints, it's just hard to move. And I always feel if you keep moving, you'll stay alive, you know? So, anywho, that's where we're at. So I'm kind of excited to go back to the doctor to see if I lost any weight or how much I lost. So I like to get back under 200 again. I felt my best around 190. That was kind of my comfort weight. So
Yeah, I don't know. I probably weigh about 175.
that's what I would say.
170.
That's what I would say looking at you. Because you're 5'10" ish or what?
I used to be almost 5'11", but after that bad crash where I broke my back, I'm actually more like 5'10".
Sure. Yeah,
I
that's
lost, and I'm old too, so that doesn't help.
right.
But also, when I fucked my legs up, my one knee doesn't straighten out, and
Mm-hmm.
that used to be my longer foot. So, in this knee, I stand kind of with this knee bent just so I can at the same height.
Sure.
So that actually, I lost. That was part of me losing a. So yeah, I'm right around 5'10" even. I used to be the last time I measured myself. I might be even shorter than that, but I
Mm-hmm.
used to be like right around 5'11" in my stocking feet.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I've
that's
I've
about
lost
where
an
I'm at.
inch.
Yeah. The lowest
Um,
I've ever been as
yeah.
adult was like about 175. I I didn't like the way my face looked. My face was kind of sunken in, and I didn't kind of. But that's living on an American diet. If I was living in your world, I wouldn't care what weight I was at. It would just be whatever happens, you know.
Um, when I was, Victoria and I have been together
3 years.
like 3 years and 1 month. Yeah. And and at that time, we've lived together for a little over 2 years.
Sure.
Uh, we've not lived together for, it's getting to be longer now, but when she's been in Norway and, I can only be there 90 days at a time.
Right.
Um, I, uh, I, I can get really skinny because I forget to eat, and I look so old. So I work out a lot. I do like 120 push-ups every day and like 525 crunches and
Prison
swim laps around the boat and go
prison
hiking.
prison workout. Right.
Prison workout, yeah. You see the movie F1, Brad Pitt movie, which actually is quite good.
No, I haven't. I don't think so.
That's
No.
I suggest it came out, I don't know, last year, 2025 maybe. Um, I think it's the best racing movie I've ever seen. They had a whole bunch of racing people consulting on it to make it realistic. Like, I mean, obvious people like Lewis Hamilton and people like that, but like a lot of like Kenny Roberts and um, all kinds of different, Kimi Räikkönen, and I mean, they just really got people to make it real. And he did a prison workout. I realized he does almost the exact same workout every day that I do, except he jogs. I can't jog because my legs are too fucked up. So I just walk and swim. Uh,
Oh,
but
that's
except
that's a
for the
new
obliques,
movie.
he worked his. Yeah, 2026. Came out like not
It
like
says
9 months ago, maybe.
2025. Yeah, PJ 13 2025 that they
It's
made.
quite good. But he does the only thing he does different in his workout than what I do is he works his obliques in the flashy Hollywood way instead of the sensible way.
How's that?
Uh, like pedaling a bicycle.
Oh,
Like and that's much flashier, but it doesn't work the obliques nearly as much as just twisting. Like it's almost like yoga.
sure.
So here, I'll see if I can see if the cattle holds still. She wouldn't do. So you put your legs up like that, and then you just kind of lay do a crunch so that you're up,
Right.
so that you're
Right. Yep.
pulling your abdominals tight. Keep your legs up, and then you just twist side to side. And that's not very flashy for the camera. So
Oh, you mean rotate on
he
your
did the
hips?
old
Rotate your torso on your hips, you
yeah
mean? Okay, gotcha.
yeah. So you're working the obliques.
Yep.
And he did it the way we used to do it in the 80s.
Sure.
Nobody does it that way anymore, but he was doing it. They had him do it that way because it looked cooler on camera.
Sure.
So that was a little bit of Hollywood in there. It was quite good. The only unrealistic thing about that film was his age,
Oh,
because
yeah, Brad's
he's
getting
my age.
old. Yeah, Brad's getting old.
He's December. I'm August. So I'm like 4 months older than he is, 3.5 months older than he is. Um, and I'm pretty fit, not like him, but
Right.
closer to him than in fucking anybody else my age.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I mean, definitely low body
but
fat. That's the biggest part. Doesn't matter.
yeah, it's skinny fat. You just can't get rid of that.
Right, right, right.
Um, the the real unrealistic thing is, and this yourself, is that we could still be really fast on a racetrack, but at our age, I'm older than you, but sorry if I include you in this us geezers
Oh,
class,
I'm
but
I'm old. I used to always
um,
be the young guy in all my circles, and I'm the old guy. It's yeah.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Uh, but you just don't have the reaction times. I mean, you can be really fast, but think of what think of like at MotoGP or F1, how just like a 1/1000th of a second reaction time could could add up to like on the course of a race could add up to it could be like 70 seconds back, and that puts you from being on the podium to being like 12th.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
When I
it's
had when I had my motorcycle school, I was listening to some of the guys the way they train, and I'm like, nothing you're doing is helping your mind train for responding quickly. And
right.
that's what
Well,
you gotta do some stuff that makes your brain move fast, like ping pong. You know what I mean? Something where you're quick decisions.
I mean, I think you could race at like the CRA level into your 60s,
Oh,
even
easily. Oh
70s.
yeah, yeah. If you're yeah, you're right.
But
If yeah,
but when you're in that level, when you're in freaking F1 or
Roger.
MotoGP, I don't think it's possible.
No, do you remember Roger Hendricks or not?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he still races, and so's well. No, I don't know if anybody else does. I know for sure Roger still does. Oh, did you know
What's his
who?
name?
Oh, do you know who died recently?
No.
Oh, within the last year. What's his full name? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Old timer, CRA guy. Oh, what's his name? I don't want to mess this up. Shoot. Oh, I remember now. I think his last name was Roswell. John Roswell. He owned
Yeah.
he owned the oh god the trucking company. What was it called? But anyways, oh, what was the it was
Was he still racing?
yeah. Him and Roger would still get together and like do the endurance race, and they'd race once in a while during the season, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
There was a few old timers that were still racing, but yeah, he just died like within the last year or something. And Roger was
What did
really
he
close.
die of?
Well, I think maybe it was a heart attack, something kind of usual type thing, common. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah, he just passed away. Roger was real close to him. That's how I heard about it. But
I think he used to come once in a while to Ray King's place to watch races in the garage.
yeah, probably. Nice guy, really pleasant demeanor.
Yeah, I believe I had a beer with him once or twice. I didn't really know him, but yeah, that's a lot of that happening. Think of all the people in the music community who are like in their 40s who have died in the last 5 years.
Right. Right. Well, and that's
Fucking turbo cancer.
yeah, that was kind of my motivation to get to the doctor too. It's like, you gonna live like you're gonna die tomorrow, or do you think you got a few more years than that? It's kind of like,
Yeah.
especially when you're not in good health to be. Well, I'm not bad health, but I'm not in good health. So it's like kind
You
of like
know,
to know if anything's going on. But
where old guys can keep racing is in endurance racing.
right,
Uh, because that's not so much about making shaving a 1/100th of a
right.
second off
It's
of every lap.
it's a
That's
marathon,
about
right?
just
Not a
it's a
sprint.
marathon, and it's a lot more intellectual. It's much you're in your mind as it is in your reactions, like Lamar racing, like like the
Right.
24 hours of Daytona and shit like that. Old guys usually do quite well in that. Like team racing. Um, but if they'd had them like racing at the 24 hours of Lamar or 24 hours of Daytona, I think they did have him racing in the movie. That's kind of I think he won Daytona. and that's why they got him back in the F1 because they needed a driver to train a young driver. You know, they needed somebody a more mature teammate for this hot young guy that didn't listen and wasn't living up to his potential. Anyway, that's the whole plot of the story. I just gave it away. It's quite a good movie, though. It was other than Brad Pitt being too old for F1. There's just no two ways around it. Just like Vinales is what 40,
Right.
and he's a back marker.
Right.
Well, I am going to. I'm going to actually make some food here. I forgot to eat today. I was talking about that when I lose a lot of weight when Victoria's not around because I forget to eat, and then I
and
look like a scrawny old man.
yeah, I've been going through that too. Since I've been doing this. Let's see, just a second. I was looking up the guy's name just to make sure. Nope, that's not him either. Anyways, no, since I started doing this, I did like a 24, 30 hour fast before I started all this and quit the caffeine and the high sugar stuff, trying to reset my eating, And so I've stayed off of high sugar completely. And I kind of erased my cravings and my appetite. I don't hardly eat at all. I mean, honest to God, I'm probably eating less than 1,000 calories a day right now. And I
definitely got less than that today, so I better eat something.
Yeah, and yesterday I was just getting kind of spacey and hard to focus, and the girlfriend wants me to lose weight, and she's like, "Oh, don't eat." I'm like, "Dude, no, my brain function is down. I have to have something. I'm just super low calorie deficient type thing," and it's like it's ugh. So I'm trying to I'm not used to paying attention to when I need to eat. I'm used to just eating, and then if life is busy, I eat less, But
living on a boat, you can't do that. She didn't finish. She still got some crumbs. I'm gonna let her finish that before I I only had 2 cups of coffee today. I usually drink 4. Last night I didn't sleep at all.
So yeah, like yesterday I had like 3 slices of bread buttered. That's like I had the whole day. At the end of the day, I was just like, I can't focus, and I'm not used to. Anyways, yeah. Now I got to pay attention when I need to eat instead of just whatever,
Tonight I'm making spaghetti, leftover spaghetti from I think 3 nights ago. Spaghetti sauce. I'm just gonna heat it up, and boil up some spaghetti. And where's my little frying pan? Well, I'm glad we did this. I know there's a frying pan in there somewhere. There should be. Boy, I smell gas here. Like really smell gas. Underneath the stove. I wonder if I got a leaky gas line. That's not good. Oh well. I think I might have a leaky gas line. I did notice that my gas emptied out last time kind of fast.
Oh.
Faster than normal.
Uh-huh.
Oh well. Didn't kill me yet. Geez, I hope that my fridge was partially opened. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Well, it's good talking to you. I'm multitasking here, making myself dinner.
Right.
It has been 2.5 hours, so we did a good job.
Yeah, it kept us both off the streets long enough to make it to
It's
bedtime
really
without.
good talking to you. It seems like a long time.
Yeah, it was probably 3 weeks, 2 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah,
There,
it's been
John
about.
John Roswick, not Roswell. John Roswick. There it is. I felt bad I
Oh,
couldn't
okay.
find felt bad I couldn't find his name.
I'm terrible with names anyway. I remember
Midwest
bikes though.
Midwest Motor Express. That was the trucking company he owned.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Oh yeah, yeah. He
black and
was.
orange. Yeah.
I think he used to hang out some with that Motor Mutts people.
Yes. I think so, possibly. But he lived in like North Dakota or something. He didn't live here, so he had to come to town for stuff. So I mean,
Yeah,
I think he was
I
based
think
in I think he was based in North Dakota.
I think I met him many years ago at like a Moto Mutts rally somewhere. Bunch of racers.
Super nice guy, you know. Just
Yeah, my battery warning light just came on. So this time, if I go away, isn't because the
oh,
ruling elite is censoring me.
so he is about your age. He graduated 1964 from high school. No, a little bit older than you.
Yeah, yeah.
A little bit older. 64 he graduated
Oh
high
wow.
school.
Well, that's
Yeah,
holy shit.
that was when you're born.
He's like, oh wow, a dolphin just popped up out here.
Yeah.
I'm inside, so I can't show to you. Um,
My dolphin doesn't
we're
pop up
in,
anymore.
we're once you cut back on the sugar.
Sugar, lose a few weight. Yeah, get rid of some of the insulation.
Uh, all right, I will. Let's do this again when you. Yeah, I'm not sure what my schedule's like. I got a little bit of a crazy couple of weeks, but I might be off the boat, living in either on a different boat or living up in the goddamn jungle for a while. Not sure.
Okay. Well, we'll talk after the
All right.
weekend then.
Okay. Have a good
Yep.
weekend.
Thanks, Darwin. Yep. Bye.
Yeah. Bye, John.